This is the post-game interview with the Seattle Storm after they beat the Washington Mystics 97-84 and advanced to the second round of the WNBA playoffs. We speak with Coach Quinn, Stewie, Jewell Loyd, and Sue Bird.
Ready? All right, let's go ahead and open it up for questions. We'll start here in the front person.
Hi guys. There was a whole lot that went right on the offensive end, but I'm just curious, just from your guys' point of view, just what was it against the best defense in the league that really went well?
I thought we were really patient. I thought because there were things going in we knew they were trying to do. They were switching a lot of screens when Stewie was setting them, so we were trying to take advantage of those mismatches. And some of that has to do with Stewie when she gets the ball being patient, the rest of us getting to our spots where we can be successful, understanding that if they run someone at her, we have to cut, understanding that if you're a shooter, you got to be ready to knock it down when the ball does move. I thought in those moments, we were just super, super patient. And the other side of it was we finally got out and ran. That really was the key, I think. They're a team that when they're set, it's really hard to score against them. But we picked and chose, we were picky about which moments to run. And then I feel like it was the third and even into the fourth quarter where we finally got it going and we got some things in transition because that's when they can't execute their schemes quite as well.
And then just for how is the game different for you, Sue, when you are able to make a few shots early? Do teams play you guys differently, and then are you able to then more be a playmaker, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, this was a team that if they weren't switching pick and rolls when I was in them, mostly when Stewie was setting them, they were going under, and you have to be aggressive in those moments, right? You have to look for your shot, you have to make them pay, not overdo it. I think there's a balance there, but you definitely have to do that. I think AC guarding me and knowing all of our play calls, I tried to be a little more creative. There were times where I probably surprised, called one play and kind of made a different cut. Why not? That's how I got the very first three I got. I just kind of remixed it because she knew which spots to get to. And that, I think, also against this team, against Washington, what we did as a team was have a little more of an open mind, understanding they were going to try to take away certain things because they knew our play calls. So you just got to be able to remix it.
And Stewie, in Game 1, Shakira Austin and Elena Deladon combined for 38 points. Today you guys held them to 14. Just talk about the defensive job you guys were able to do on the post players.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as a collective, everyone did really well guarding Elena. She's tough, and she really gets to her spots and can elevate over people and knock down shots. And we just want to make it hard for her. And for Shakira, it was just her rebounding, and she still had 8 rebounds, but she's aggressive, and that's the way she kind of cleans things up. And as Sue was talking about, knowing that these people are really good offensively and making them want to play defense too. Making them be in positions that they don't want to be in.
And so late in the game, you got the breakaway steal, got past Deladon for the layup, and was really animated after scoring that. Just talk about what this moment means for you.
Yeah, I mean, I only have so many games left. What today's win did was obviously push us into the semifinals. It also guaranteed us more home games. So that was definitely in the back of my mind as I entered today. It wasn't some overwhelming motivator, just kind of a thought that I had as I entered. Simultaneously, none of us wanted to travel. I mean, I said that on the court. It's a big part of it. Now we have all this rest. We have all this time to prepare. Knowing that Vegas had already advanced, so they were definitely going to get that rest and that time. So, being able to stay home and not having to travel cross country is huge. So I think it was just all of that emotion in that moment. Because I kind of felt like once, even though they scored the next 2 possessions, that steal just felt like a moment, we got, this is over,
For Jewell and Stewie, I'm sure you guys are never surprised by anything that Sue does, but this is a season high for her in scoring, a season high for her in assists. What was your reaction to what she did out there and at this stage in the playoffs and this stage of her career?
That's what she does.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah, no, it is. We've been around her long enough, played with her, and I mean, she's greatness. And I think even on the layup, me and Stuart were like, "You good, Sue? You got it." Like it's just like, "Yeah, you're good." Like I mean, it's
I'm looking like the Flintstones.
it's going like it's just amazing. Like sometimes I find myself just watching because it's just like she's the way she picks apart things, and I mean, yeah, she's
Yeah, I mean, we expected. You said it was the season high, but it's not shocking to us the way that she can dominate a game from a lot of different ways, whether it's scoring or getting us open and things like that. And the moment after she made the layup, when she really got like the crowd hype, she got the rest of us hyped too. But it was just it was amazing to see. Yeah, this is what she does. I mean, nobody expects anything different.
Well, Sue, I remember a moment a little bit after that when you had the one-legged shot kind of at the end, you just gave a shrug. Like, you felt like you were in the zone, but like if that one, that would have been kind of the cherry on top.
No. There's a little bit of a backstory. I've been working on this one-legged shot. I actually got fouled on it earlier, which I was very proud about. I have been working that one-legged runner both ways. I've been working on it all off season, and every now and then in practice it comes out. I've done it like a handful of times in games. All my teammates know about it. So that was just kind of me having fun at the end. The shot going in or not going in wasn't going to make or break the game. And the shrug was actually to Ryan Webb, because he's the one that I was working on it with in the off season. He was in the crowd today, and I could see his arms up because I did it at all. And I was like, I wish it went in. So that was just like a playful moment, because I've legit been working on that. Maybe if I played a couple more years, it would have been my shot.
Maz?
Hey, so I just want to go back. You talked about it, how important patience was, and then how important is that going to be moving? And I don't want to take the great win today, but going into the series against Vegas.
Yeah, it's always a big part or a big important part of the game. I think we're a team that for many years like to play really fast and like to surprise teams in a way. And now we have a different style, and that has evolved. And part of that is to be a little bit more patient in certain moments. Especially, I mean, the big factor here is that teams like to switch pick and rolls with Stewie. And so we have mismatches, but we have to be smart with our spacing, with when to attack it, all of those types of things. Vegas is a team that switches a lot, so I think patience will be important. So, I say that out one side of my mouth. The other side of my mouth, you still have to be able to surprise teams and kind of get them off balance. So you have to have patience, but you have to be smart, because sometimes you can quick attack.
And this is for you too. The Mystic coach brought up something that stayed with me. He said that Sue's everything else she does, facilitation is wonderful, but he said her ability to understand and study the game, is that something, I mean, we don't get to see that. Is that something that's underrated that we really don't see in her preparation for the game?
Yes. I mean,
like film study and stuff
yeah. I mean, of course, you guys don't see it because you're not like in the locker room or things like that. But for example, when we're breaking down DC after game one, obviously Noe's talking, but also Sue is talking, and Sue is saying what she sees, just as a player on the court, seeing things from a different perspective, from a player if she's not in the game, and at the same time just from watching the film. Realizing that, we were really trying to get the ISO at the top, and Sue telling people like, hey, this spacing isn't right. We need to be here. And we hear it from Noe and the coaches, but when you hear it from Sue, it hits a little different because she's Sue.
Yeah, you're going to get to the spot.
Thanks.
Stewie, saw you glancing at the box score. Did you have any idea you were that close to a triple-double?
We were close for like a long time.
I know.
I looked up, I was like, oops, she's close to my
Tell told me with like 2 minutes left, she was like, you need 1 rebound and 2 assists. And I was like, we'll see what happens. But no, Sue said to me at halftime just like the ability to kind of make plays for others, especially when my shot wasn't going in, and understanding that the paint was so clogged and just finding the open person. But yeah, I was close, but I didn't get it. So.
And then what time were these Delta notifications popping up?
Like the last 48 hours.
Oh my God! Be prepared for
really
your flight to Dulles.
It's just really reminding us what was at stake here.
No. It's terrible.
Jared, yeah.
No, I do not want to check a bag.
I wanted to ask about the defensive game plan and what you all were willing. I mean, you gave up 14 threes, but Deladon was held in check. Natasha couldn't attack the basket. Just what were you looking and what was the give and take defensively that you were hoping for?
Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, they have a game-changing player in Elena. They have three-point shooters. So it's tough because, you know, there's some mentalities that say, oh, Elena's going to get hers. Like, let's do what we can, but she's probably going to get hers, so let's not let other people get off. Then there's other mentalities, like, let's make it as hard as possible for Elena. I thought what we did from game 1 to game 2, just changing it up, giving her different looks. Game 1, we jammed her a lot everywhere, went under pick and rolls and jammed her a lot as to not disconnect, not have our post player disconnect from her. And then when she got it on the block, we double teamed her. Today, we switched a lot. So now we understood, okay, she's going to have a guard on her, and we're still going to have to double team her. But then late in the game, we actually just said, every man for himself. Like, everyone guard, your own player, no helping. And I think what happened was because we did give up a bunch of threes, because of the way we were guarding her, we thought, all right, time to stop doing that late in the game. We ended up giving up one, which kind of sucks. That happens. But I think the good news is we made it hard enough where we could overcome those threes that they hit. And they did a great job. They did. They made us pay in the rotations that we were in. So it wasn't an easy game, but we made just enough plays, got just enough defensive rebounds, particularly in the fourth quarter.
Let's take a couple on Zoom. Christos, go ahead and kick us off.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Stewie, today you forced Renadele. What kind of testament for your effort as a team was that?
I missed the first part of it.
You forced Elena Deladon's shot 35% today.
Yeah, I think we touched on it earlier. It was, you know, as a collective. The game plan today was switching with her. So a lot of times guards were on her in the post, making sure that we were trapping. Coming from the right place, we were rotating out, and you know, she's going to hit tough shots because she's a great player. Just making sure that everyone is really, really hard.
Thank you very much. And for you to play better than game 1 and going around, what is the confidence level that you're going to play better in the second round?
I'll just wing that one. It's a new round. It's a new series. We're playing against a different opponent. I think we did exactly what we needed to do in order to advance. We won the games. This is the playoffs. I mean, this is the 4-5 seed. These are two really evenly matched teams. You know, even though we were technically higher seed, like what does that even mean in this round? As I said, the 4-5. And now we're going against a really tough team, one that presents a lot of problems. So more than anything, I think we're just thankful to have this week to prepare.
Thank you very much.
And Dorothy, go ahead, Dorothy.
Hi, ladies. Thanks for your time and congrats on the win. So I want to ask you a little bit about what Tina Jones has brought to this team. I know you have a history with her, but just what she's brought to the team and how she's been able to fit in and bring her game.
Yeah, she has brought scoring and this low block presence that we haven't had in years. Just someone that you can really put down there, give her the ball, let her go to work. And it really changes things for our team because I think in the last couple of years, I mean, listen, we've had success with it, but over the last couple of years, we've been very much a perimeter type team and a 3-point shooting team. And there were times where we would play games and it would be like our first 10 shots were threes. And now it's like, okay, there's moments within the game where you're like, all right, we need to get a bucket, let's put Tina on the block. And that gives us just it makes us way more versatile. The fact that teams double her opens things up for people. And I think, you know, what we've learned in the last, 72 hours or so is she's really hungry to win. I mean, the way she reacted to the first playoff win, I think, is really telling. And I think, you know, here you have 3 people sitting up here who have been to the playoffs the last, you know, however many years. And it's really nice to see it through Tina's eyes. It kind of reminds you what this is and how special it is and not to take it for granted.
Wait, do you have anything to say about Tina as well as usual?
Either one.
Either, yeah, both.
No, I agree with Sue. You know, it's a different presence for sure. I mean, she's still Tina Charles. Like, let's not forget her greatness. You know, she just brings another element to us, and her ability to pass out the double teams as well. It puts a little more pressure on the defense.
Let's go to Rafiq. Rafiq, go ahead.
This is Rafi with nothing but that sports talk. I got a question for Sue Bird. Congratulations on making it to the second round. First of all. Second of all, the last time the Seattle Storm fought the Aces was in 2020 WNBA Finals when we swept them. What do you expect from the Aces this time around?
I mean, I never look back on previous playoff runs. Every team is different every year, so it really has nothing to do with it. This is, you know, they finished first this year, finished first for a reason. We played them 4 times, lost 3, so, you know, we have our work cut out for us. And like I said earlier, they just present a lot of problems. They have players that are just, it feels like their entire starting lineup, you know, particularly Kelsey, Chelsea, Jackie, and Asia are just, the green light is like ultra. They're just constantly looking to score, constantly looking to attack, constantly being aggressive. When you're getting that from 4 people on the court at the same time, it just presents a lot of problems. And that's where, you know, we're gonna have to rise to that challenge. And again, they're number 1 for a reason. This is not gonna be easy.
And how good of a feeling is it to know that you're going to be playing another WNBA playoff series in your career?
Yeah, that actually, you know, that definitely feels good knowing I have more games. I'd said earlier, you know, what winning today did was guarantee more home games. You know, so it feels good.
Let's go to Jeff.
Appreciate the insight. Good luck.
Yeah, for any of you guys, I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak about Gabby. I thought her performance in the first half especially was incredible. She goes down with the injury, and then Steph really stepped up big, got a lot of good offensive rebounds, hit some key shots. Just talk about their performances.
Yeah, I mean, Gabby has been our Army switch knife. You know, like, she's, her ability to attack, rebound, play defense. I mean, she's so versatile. But then Steph does the same thing. You know, she comes in, and I think everyone on the team is ready when the name is called, and that's the greatness of our team. You know, everyone steps up, they know their jobs, they know their roles, and we have confidence in each person who steps on the floor. So they're very key for our success, and they both played great tonight.
All right, thanks everyone. The team is off tomorrow and Tuesday. We'll send out a... All right, Coach, let's just have you open it up with your thoughts on the game today, and then we'll open it up for questions.
First and foremost, shout out to Coach Tebow and his staff for an amazing series. Honestly, I look up to him in a lot of ways as far as just his organization and how he runs things and how smart he is and everything that encompasses who he is. And so just congrats to them. And honestly, very happy with our crew, how we performed tonight. We had a lot of great performances from everyone. And our starters plus, you know, Steph with the big rebounds, Ezzy with big minutes, and just knowing that our team was locked in and focused. We will enjoy this one tonight, but then we have to get ready for the next round.
Percy?
Hey, Coach. Those guys have the best defense in the league, but you guys scored 97. It was just so efficient doing it. Do you think it was a matter of just seeing them and just like that series that after a while you get to figure out a team, I guess?
I think so. I think we played them, you know, they were our last few games of the season, so we're very familiar about just their aggressiveness and, you know, how hard they play and how efficient they can be offensively, especially with Della down on the floor. So, yeah, they're a very good defensive team, so are we. And I think as of late, though, our offense has picked up, and we're finding ways to be efficient from everywhere on the floor, share the ball. And I think that, you know, this is the type of basketball you want to be playing at this point of the season.
Both teams shot over 50% from three-point range, but you guys had a 40-26 edge in points in the paint. Talk about what you guys did defensively to kind of slow down Shakira Austin and Della Don.
I think our activity, we switched our scheme today. We didn't jam ball screens with her. We switched, and that, I think, slowed them down a little bit and switching involves trapping, it involves rotating, and I think our activity was great. We talked about Austin early on. Again, she was very active. We had to box out and rebound, and I thought we did a better job with that. And just I think our poise and purpose, like offensively, to understand that the three ball is amazing, but also to have a variety of what we do and get downhill, get into the paint, and work our mismatches as well.
And what would you say is the biggest either takeaways or lessons you learned from this series against Washington?
They're tough. I think for us, learning about the resiliency of our team. That game one, a couple of possessions went their way. We had good defensive possessions. We had Jewell come on late. And just so, again, for this particular team who hasn't had multiple seasons together, multiple postseasons together, to see how we have grown in a lot of ways. And that is not just by getting wins, but how we're winning defensively, offensively, and just kind of staying the course, staying poised, and executing when we need to.
Awesome. Yeah.
You probably won't be able to answer this, but I need to ask Gabby Williams, do you have an update? Do we know?
Nothing more than we put out.
Yeah, I figured
Yep.
it's too early.
Yeah.
In terms of what happened on the court, Brianna Stewart had 9 defensive rebounds, and how critical is that in terms of, everything else, but how critical is that in your scheme of things?
We won the rebounds again, and I think we talk about it all season long. When we're even or winning the battle of the boards, we are successful. Stewie didn't hit shots, but she did everything else on the floor. She was facilitating, she was assisting, and the rebounding was huge for us. There was a point in the game where I felt like, again, we kind of had some slippage in that area, but that just shows who Stewie is. No matter what it is, no matter what we need, she provides that for us.
Going back to the offense in terms of the efficiency, familiarity, and now ball movement and your spacing, is that what you're starting to see from this team now?
Definitely, and I just think a comfort with one another, just to know our reps came in games a lot of times this year, and we're understanding, timing of who needs the ball, spacing, the cutting. Washington is a heavy loaded team, and the activity on our backside is important. So just that knowledge of getting used to our system and getting used to one another, I think we're finding that groove.
As you got a lot of minutes tonight, hopped in the game real early. Can you just speak about her performance tonight?
Amazing. I mean, just from her activity level, the pick 6 that she got, defensively guarding Deladon and using her length and getting big rebounds. You talk about just growing up before our eyes, and she's doing that within our postseason play. And those minutes were super critical for what we're doing. And the thing that I know is that because she played all of those minutes earlier on in the season, getting that experience is helping her post-season play.
Absolutely. Last one from me. First game, you wore a stunning white outfit. Tonight, you're wearing a stunning black outfit from head to toe. Any symbolism there we should take away?
Real basic, keep the colors simple. White, black. Just try to make my mom proud and look presentable. That's it.
Kevin?
You made mom proud, no technical.
Thanks.
We saw Sue knocking down the 3 early and then start distributing. What does it do for you offensively when she's that aggressive?
I mean, we talked about it before game 1. We need her to be aggressive, and it just provides another scorer, and now defenses have to adjust. A lot of defense have recently been going under, and she makes them pay. But especially in a time where you're playing a heavy nailed team, and whatever they're doing on ball screens is super important for Sue to be aggressive and find her groove early. And then we know that she could facilitate. That's always going to happen, but the points need to come early and often for her.
I was going to ask about Sue, too. I mean, 18 points, most she scored all year, 10 assists, most she's had all year. Might have been her best game all season.
Mm-hmm.
Just for her to do that at this time, this stage of her career, what was your reaction to that, and what did it do for the team?
Vintage Sue. I've been a part of it as her teammate, now as her coach, to see. It's something about these moments that make me understand why she is so great. You see her just kick a different gear mentally and physically, and you know, she got a pick six herself, came into a passing lane and got a layup, and she still has that speed, north to south speed. And it's just, I've seen it time and time again, and it always still impresses me just how she's able to just lock in and excel in those moments.
We got Jerry up here.
Noelle, I was curious to know, as you switched up defensive philosophies, especially on Deladon, like, what were you kind of weighing there and kind of the pluses and minuses? And I know they made 14 threes, but even though they scored 84 points, it seemed like that was just more of a manageable type of performance than having Deladon go off.
Yes. What we did in game one was jam her, and so Cloud got a lot more aggressive, and Cloud was 5 for 8 from 3-point line. And what happens when you jam is you live with giving up the three. But I just had a feeling that she was going to be more aggressive game two. All of their guards, we talked about Atkins as well. And our switching scheme takes the aggression away from the guard, but also keeps our bigger guard on Deladon. And what we were doing was then coming to trap. And what trapping does is obviously is get the ball out of her hands. And so just a combination of those elements to take away Cloud's aggression going downhill, to keep a body to Deladon, but to know that we're going to come with an extra body. You know, Rui got a three early. We'll live with those. And there's you know, things that we do have to tighten up on our rotations. Obviously, KYP, understanding on closeouts, who's going to drive and who's going to take the three. But at the end of the game, when we had that lead, we stopped trapping because they needed the threes. And so we started to defend the three-point line a little bit more. So just adjusting as the game adjusts, especially with a prolific scorer like that. You can't give her a heavy dose of the same thing. And same with Cloud. Give her a heavy dose of the same scheme. She's going to take advantage of it.
Let's take some questions from our Zoom. Christos, go ahead, Christos.
Hello, Coach. Congratulations on the win, first of all.
Thanks, Christos.
Showing the team, Jewell started pretty well tonight. Stewie find her spots in the second half. Schubert did two things on the floor. How easy is the game when you saw your main players having that effort?
It's not easy at all, but there is a comfort level, and those three have been through the fire with one another. And so I know that in these moments, there's a level that they get to, and they feed off of one another, and there's comfort with one another to know where they need the ball, when they need the ball. And I think each of them impacted the game in their own way, but that's just who they are. They've been our big three since whenever. They will continue to be now in the present and whenever and however long we continue.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Let's go with Dorothy. Dorothy, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for your time. Congrats on the win. Can you talk a little bit about what Tina Charles has brought to this team and how she's fit into the team and just what she brought?
Kevin Pelton says that we're a lot better with Tina Charles on the floor. Trust him in his numbers. And I think what she's brought is just this edge. She's brought professionalism. She wants to win, and she will do anything for us that is needed in the game, whether it's rebounding, getting a bucket, defending. And she's been an awesome teammate. So with the addition of Tina to have a bucket on the floor at any time offensively is great. But where we were deficient earlier in the year with rebounding, I think she's helped a ton with that as well.
And let's go to Rafiq. Rafiq, go ahead.
This is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports Talk. Congratulations on winning the series.
Thank you.
I just want to ask you, the next round is going to be the Storm going up against the Aces. And last time they fought each other, the Storm destroyed them during the 2020 WNBA Finals. What are your anticipations about this semifinal series between two WNBA elites?
It's going to be a battle. I know I talked about enjoying this one right now, but we're in the back talking about how are we going to stop the Aces. And, you know, they've played great basketball for the entire year. They're solid. They have a lot of great players. And I know that it is going to be a battle. We will prepare. We will rep, we will scout, we will do everything necessary to put our players in the best position to win.
And how glad you are that the WNBA will see at least 3 more playoff games, around 3 or 5 more playoff games from the great Sue Bird.
Yeah, I love it for the game of basketball. I love it for the Seattle fans. I love it for our organization. I don't want it to end.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rafiq. Jen Hatfield, go ahead, Jen.
Hey, Coach. Just to build off of your comments earlier about Cloud, you know, she shot 7 for 10 in the 2 games here from 3, and only 13% from there in the regular season. Just curious, you know, what you thought was different about her performance in this series for maybe what you saw during the regular season.
Yeah, there's something about the postseason that Cloud gets to another gear as well. Just knowing the moments she likes these big moments, and she prepares for these big moments. I think her first game she told us she was a shooter. So she's worked on her game, and every year she's gotten better. Cloud in 2018 was super different than Cloud of 2022. That this year, yeah. And you can see she's a leader for that team. She's a heartbeat for that team, and I think she knew the magnitude of the moment and wanted to step up for her team.
And last on Zoom, Brendan, go ahead.
Yeah, hey Coach, congrats on the win. So my first question is, you kind of talked about throughout the season how the back-to-back or game changing have been kind of a test match, or designed like a test match. Was that in preparation for a playoff series like this and upcoming?
Like the upcoming playoff series? Is that what was asked?
I think so.
Playoffs in general.
Oh, playoffs in general. Yeah, exactly that. Those back-to-backs give you an opportunity to, you know, not deviate too far from what was successful, but to quickly, you know, adjust as the game adjusts, as the moments adjust, and it is honestly a very good preparation for postseason play.
And then my next question is, how big of an adjustment is it going from best of 3 to a best of 5 special?
That's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. We have a lot of time, and you know we have to use our time wisely with rest, with preparation. Obviously, you have to throw travel in there. A longer series means that the adjustment, there's a lot more that you have to look to, and I don't know. I'm glad that we get the 5 games to get to crack Vegas, to crack the code against Vegas, because they're so tough.
And we'll wrap up with Percy. Go ahead, Percy.
Hey, Coach, you know, just in hindsight, just how important was that win and against the Mystics at their place? I mean, obviously that win gave you the tiebreaker edge there.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was huge because having home court advantage in a 2-1 is important to. I don't know if it's considered home court advantage, right? But the 2 home games that you have are very important, and I think, you know, we ended the season on the road with the travel. We did not want to go back on the road and continue to play. So that win in Chicago was huge as well. But, you know, knowing that we got the tiebreaker, knowing we got that win, we talked about it when we were in DC. We know that it was important for this moment.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll have our players in here in just a sec.